Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to speak to you guys about overwhelm. We might be overwhelmed at something, and it might mean a lot of things, and people might tell us it means a specific thing. Like, for instance, a lot of people think that overwhelm is actually an instinct for us to do less, whereas sometimes overwhelm might be an instinct on you actually having to take on more. What I mean by that is, we have a passive challenge, and then we have an active challenge, okay? A passive challenge is, let's say, like I tried to hand in my book to a publisher and they rejected it. Now I have to actually rewrite it and hand it in again to another publisher. So that's an example of a passive challenge. It's like a challenge I have to deal with. The universe has given me a challenge. And then we have an active challenge. So an active challenge is, let's say, I actually write the book, right? That's a lot of work, but in actuality, it's a challenge we choose to take on ourselves with conscious effort. When you're overwhelmed, your passive challenges are overriding more than your active challenge. So you're getting all this challenge from the world, but you're not challenging yourself. You're not disciplining yourself. You're not giving effort yourself. If you have a choice to be motivated to stay where you are, you understand that that's your motivation. People think I have to get motivated, but motivated to do what exactly? Right? You could be motivated to take an hour-long shower, but is that saving water? I mean, what's the benefit of that? Right? You get a little bit more extra squeaky clean. Okay, that's great. Right? But the thing is, you want to really, really understand that being overwhelmed means being not in control. And oftentimes we don't take the self-control activities that actually help us feel like we are in control. We just let go of control and let the universe do everything for us at times. Right? We're like, all right, give it to me. But then if the universe is just giving us challenges and we're not challenging ourselves, we're going to feel overwhelmed. Okay? So your active challenges has to be greater than your passive challenges, which is what the challenges the world gives you, the universe gives you. It's not in your control, it's kind of happening to you, whereas you need your challenges to be happening by you. So that's the first tweak that I want you to make. And then understand that overwhelm or anxiety, that's just energy bouncing around in your head. Okay, it's just waiting for you to do something with that information. But what you're doing is you're not taking action on it. So action actually overrides anxiety, right? Because actually that energy in your head is now going through your body and you're actively doing something with that anxiety. Instead, if this excess mental energy just keeps piling up and piling up and piling up when we don't do anything with it, and we suppress it and we hold on to it, and we don't express it in a way because we feel like we might offend someone, or we feel like it's not the right thing to do, or we feel like, yeah, I will just keep holding it in and taking it and just, letting the world step all over me over and over and over again. Right? This is what happens. I've learned this from even stepping up to bullies in the past, or being able to speak my truth in a relationship, or understanding what it takes to be able to hold on to my self-esteem more. Because, ourselves constantly gets fluctuated. We're like a leaf in the wind, but you have to be the wind in this case, okay? So understand that, you want to have a kind of stability and a feeling of control that you actually can do it. And that's what will put you into the flow state. If you have digital overstimulation, and you have all of the stuff that you're consuming, but you're not doing anything with that information, okay, it's going to float around, right, just in space. It's just floating around in your mind. And it's no wonder you're distracted, because you have all of these ideas and things just floating around. And you're not doing anything with them. You're just like, great. Oh yeah, awesome. Oh, that's a scary thought. Oh, but it was awesome a while ago. But then, oh, you see, so it's like all of this stuff all together. So of course it's going to cause some kind of a confusion and overthinking. And you can go back and watch my video on overthinking, but a lot of overthinking is underthinking. I believe we haven't thought of the solution, and so we're just thinking about the same problem over and over again. We're focused on one negative thought or one negative problem, and we're just dwelling on it, and we're just staying there. We feel a kind of stuckness. So what you want to do is use a bit of willpower, which is the conscious effort to do the things that you aren't motivated to do. Okay, so there's two ways here. You can have motivation, which comes from within, and change that internal drive to do and find your reason, your why, which kind of gives you that push, that that momentum. Or you can change your willpower, which is like that kind of conscious effort on your part to like do the things like maybe I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's going to help me bring me the results that I want. And consciously remind my mind like there is this byproduct to this. I'm going to get something great out of this, a reward. And oftentimes we step into activities and we forget to improve our skill sets on those activities. So let's say that we're doing the same thing over and over again. Like we're just let's say we're just practicing tennis, right? We're just like each day, same thing, right? Right? There's no improvement. You're just staying the same. You're just doing the same thing. What if instead, week after week, you challenge different opponents who are tennis champions? How much of a learning curve would that just exponentially bring you instead of like playing squash and like hitting it against hitting it against like some random wall? So if you're feeling overwhelmed, oftentimes maybe you might not have the skill set or you're not improving that skill set enough that you're just staying in the same place. Okay, you're doing the repetitive activity, so you're hardwiring that repetitive activity, but you still want to give yourself little spikes of pattern interrupts and different things that you're challenging yourself to do. The question might be like, what do I do? Or what do I challenge myself to do? What am I good at? Okay. And that's another story, right? That's something that you've got to explore. Okay. And I can talk in another video about this idea of purpose and passion. However, when you can truly align yourself and understand, whoa, I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now. Like I'm taking on a lot. But it's like, are you consciously taking on a lot or are you being given a lot? Because if let's say you're running a business, you have the choice to do whatever you want, right? You can drink sodas all day and then finally make one post on social media. That doesn't make it a business, right? That's just like a hobby. But if you're actively, going after what you want each day, making content, reaching out to clients, doing everything that you can, getting these little activities of just like, even like, editing your book, like that's important. Yes, that is very important. But also, how important would it be to really understand and refine your dream client and like understanding who they are and trying to merge the gap between where they are and where they want to be and speak into the language between that gap? Like, how much more of an important activity and an active challenge would that be rather than you scrolling Pinterest pages for ideas for a brand logo? We've got to understand there's certain activities that just make us skip a learning curve. Okay, I chose to go to Las Vegas last year. I didn't think I could go. I actually told myself like 80% I can't do this. I'm going to stay. But I knew that if I went and I would be around all these speakers, around all these amazing people, right? It was RSD World Summit, if you guys are curious, right? So all these amazing speakers made me go out every night, like meeting different people, networking, having people, connect with them, seeing all these just celebrities and beautiful people and weird people just like walking around and like that culture shock of like never being in Vegas before, but like, being in the center of it all. I skipped a year or two of a learning curve just from that week. I was just there for a week. However, that 1 week made me skip an entire learning curve. And yes, it might have felt in the beginning that, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm in a new place. I don't know what to do. But guess what? I challenged myself. I chose to go into active challenge. I actively challenged myself to meet some of the instructors. I actively challenged myself to go out and approach women. I actively challenged myself to be the type of person that I saw myself to be. I actively challenged myself to dress up in funny ways to sort of, push myself and push my comfort zone to stretch it out a little bit more. I actively challenged myself to, find a very, very cheap accommodation, and we managed to, right, in the last second almost before going there, right? So all these things started to happen because I actively took on that challenge. And that overrode the passive challenge of maybe maybe finding food. One of the people who stayed there, one of the landlords, threw away our food from the first day, right? That's a passive challenge. But the active challenge was like recognizing that, sending him a message, getting him to lower the rent on our thing because he threw it away without us knowing or giving us a warning. But then we learned the rule. That was like an active challenge. So like, how do you respond to challenges that life is giving you? How do you respond to the resistance that life is giving you? Do you tense up even more? Or do you ease, baby? Ease. How are you reacting? And I'm saying this because a reaction is an impulse. It's a biological drive. I'm not talking about the instant reaction. I'm talking about the contemplated response or a reaction that you are actually creating. The delay time. And if you can change your subconscious mind, you can also change your reactions. And if you can meditate more, you can have a delay in your reaction time. So all this stuff, I'm just giving you a lot here in this video, but I just really want you to think about Overwhelm very differently now that you have this piece of knowledge. And I hope you take this with you and actually go forth and challenge yourself a little bit more, because you're worth it. And you can't stay in that overwhelm and be frustrated all you want. But once you take that leap of faith, once you take that little piece of action and you set your intention and you go for it, that's what's truly going to help you. And it's going to help you, years off of the learning curve. A lot of people are stuck in the same place for 7-8 years. Do you want that to happen to you? Or are you on this channel because you're different? Because you believe in change, because you believe in refinement, because you believe in understanding yourself better and consuming the right kind of evidence and content and all of this information, but using it as well in a way where you're actively challenging yourself to use it. I said the word active a lot. Active. All right, guys. Peace out. Much love. May the flow be with you and stay light.